So, from the retail side, for example, we can borrow tools that big box retailers are using and use it in our optical. It applies. You have inventory, you have a product, and you're selling it.
Dr. Masood Nafi is a legitimate expert in the transition of technology from a place where you look up information or order your next dinner or a ride share to a thing that will change the way our businesses operate and the way we care for patients. This conversation in Think Again is one that can help you set expectations for the future of how AI will impact the way we do what we do in our businesses and for our patients. So let's get into it. This is the Think Again podcast. So it might be an interesting start to contemplate the definition of AI as you consider it. Tell us what you think is meant when we consider the acronym AI.
Well, it's funny, what is AI? It's a question we all think about, and not all of us know the answer to it. And I think many people would answer it in different ways. But if you just go to the technical meaning of an artificially intelligent software or machine, it's a machine that learns how to reason, learn, and solve problems. When a software or a machine learns how to learn, reason, and solve problems, it now becomes artificially intelligent.
And it does so by taking this large lake of data that it's been fed and running it through series of contemplations on how, a word might be followed by another word. And so it's all based around large sets of data, right?
That's right. Large sets of data and hopefully good data, because good data in, good data out, as we know, and bad data in, bad data out. So one thing that can happen with these models is, of course, it takes this stack of data. And anytime you ask it a question, it'll look through all of that data and all that context and everything that has to do with those words, and it will come back with the best suggested fit as an output.
Yep. So in the delivery of healthcare, and I guess say specifically eye care, what are the key factors that the audience should consider when they're thinking about AI? And I think we should probably think about business separate from patient care.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, well, one thing is when you think about diagnostic tools from the healthcare side, you have a lot of tools that are out there that have predictive models now on what the potential diagnosis can be based on what a retinal scan looks like or whatever other image or data it's bringing in. So that there's those predictive models from a diagnostic perspective. When you think about, and I think that will just make us more efficient, by the way, as healthcare providers, and that will make us better doctors, not because it's doing something maybe we don't already know, but it'll make us, okay, we identify what's going on here faster, and I can spend more time caring for my patient.
I want to jump in there. I want to emphasize that. I think that people who have not dug into it misunderstand it as these systems will provide care outside of the realm of a doctor. And who knows, maybe someday they will. But this idea of clinical decision support and helping you down the path of differential diagnosis and such, to your point, makes the doctor more capable of making the right decision at the time where they're either going to diagnose or prescribe.
Yeah, and if you think about why we signed up to be in this profession, it was to care for people. It wasn't so we could be data gatherers and get as much data into a system so then we can come up with a diagnosis and a plan, right? It was so then we can empathize, so we can have those conversations, make real connections with other human beings and say, I care for you. I know what I'm talking about. And here's the best plan to ensure you have great vision for the rest of your life, or holistic care, actually, because we know how the eyes are connected to the rest of the body. And to be able to have those conversations because you have the time from the help of technology is a great future for us.
And I interrupted you. You were going to talk about the business side.
Well, it's the same, similar, but different. You have this idea of how AI can help us take better care of our patients, but because we have a more of a successful or thriving business. So AI can help with, triaging, calls that come into a practice. AI can help with how decisions are made on the retail side of your business, There's a lot of opportunities. We don't have a lot of these tools today, but it won't be long till some of these tools are available to us. So, from the retail side, for example, we can borrow tools that big box retailers are using and use it in our optical. It applies. You have inventory, you have a product, and you're selling it. Now, of course, we think of it more of a medical device, and that's fine because then you tie that care piece to it. And now that consumer plus healthcare combination makes for a loyal consumer and someone who knows that their problems are actually being addressed.
So, what's the most likely way that AI will impact eye care professionals in their businesses, say in the next year? Will it be on the care side? Will it be on the business management side? Or will it be on how their patients are coming to them? That's an interesting twist. What do you think is most likely to be more widely implemented in the next year?
Wow, you really that twist, can take this in a completely different direction, right? If you think about uh, how I even saw this transition when I was taking care of patients, I went from, oh, patients are coming in and telling me what their problem is and what their diagnosis and is thanks to Dr. Google, right? And if you think about GPT is just a more advanced version of that, and they can ask it questions and get real time information and hopefully accurate information because sometimes you can go down the wrong path. So it's a little bit dangerous and scary. So that's where we'll always have a job. um, but when it comes to the other part of your question in terms of what AI can do in the next year or so, if you think about it, there's a lot of ways that a lot of parts of our business that is inefficient. Even coding and billing. How many times do we get a denial because we didn't pair the right CPT code with the right ICD-10 code? If there's a tool that's collecting this data over time, revenue cycle management companies and others are going to take that and make sure that these billing mistakes are corrected before it's sent out to prevent denials, and make sure you get cash flow and solves for other problems. So there's a lot of different ways. We could go through many examples, but I believe that some of those are kind of the easier tools that are out there. Even maybe just an AI chatbot in your EHR system and say, tell me all my patients who are diabetic or have diabetic retinopathy or whatnot. That would help us with our reporting. Tell me, there's a lot of ways that it can be used.
One last question I can think about is back to the consumer side. Are consumers going to use AI to reduce their dependence on us? I think I heard your answer. Like, GPT's really expanding on the data search in a traditional Google search, but does it reduce their dependence on us? Is there a risk of that?
On the consumer side,
Yeah.
I'm not sure on the consumer side. I think AI is going to help. You know, let's just think about consumerism today and where it's headed. So if we take a step back, consumerism has headed towards more of a personalized approach, right? Don't buy something that everyone else is buying. I want to buy what's unique. So this personalization can happen. But in order for AI to suggest the best thing for you, it needs to know about you. So what it does is it doesn't know about you. So it knows a little bit about you. It knows you're a male, female, whatever. It knows something about your age group. And so it says, here's kind of your demographic. So I will create a persona. So I use this term personalization is what AI can do. So from a consumer perspective, it will know enough about you to say people around your age and people that look like you and that are in your profession these are the best products for you. You're most likely going to buy this. These are the best sellers that are catered to you. And I think that's where AI can be helpful. It won't hurt our business if we adopt these tools too. But if we don't, and only the e-commerce brands do, then yeah, it can hurt us because they're going to get more of what they think they need through the power of technology and those websites.
Yeah, I mean, the opportunity then is to be accepting of these personas that the patients create for themselves and meet them where they are when they come in, as opposed to telling them and putting up a wall saying, no, that's not how we do it. We'll show you what you need, as opposed to them having decided what they feel they need by using AI tools themselves. That's the opportunity, isn't it?
It's a huge opportunity, and hopefully we're open-minded enough to to take on this opportunity and solve for those problems, because nobody can care for a patient from the product perspective, can care for a patient better than their doctor, and can truly give them what they need better than their doctor, because the e-commerce brands and others, they do a good job with marketing and ensuring people understand how their product's different and unique. But to be able to tie it back to what the doctor prescribed them is very special and unique to us.
So last thing, how do optometrists keep up with what's going on with AI? Are there any great resources or places you recommend they go?
Yeah, I mean, now more than ever, there are a lot of great free resources on what is artificial intelligence, business use cases of artificial intelligence. And sometimes, I think a lot of us maybe look at it from a healthcare perspective. Where's AI being used in healthcare? Well, if you take it, I would just recommend to the audience, don't just look at that. Look at what's happening in AI in general. Where is it being used? It's being used in sales and marketing. It's being used in customer operations. It's being used in R&D. Being used in different parts of businesses. We can apply that to our business. So sales and marketing. We know a lot about our patients. We know which patients are which profession. Imagine using data, AI, to consume that data and then have more of unique marketing to those patients from a healthcare provider. What about customer ops? We talk about chatbots or human-like conversations that these machines can have with folks now. It's getting better. I know it's not perfect. I get annoyed and frustrated too, but it's getting better. And you think about adoption of this to save your staff time or save your business money, business money and time. So then you could take great care of your patient. Everybody is heard, but when they come in, they got all eyes on them.
Great insight from an AI expert, Dr. Masood Nafi. Thank you for being our guest on today's Think Again podcast.
Thank you, Scott.
That's it for today's Think Again podcast, brought to you by GPN Visions, a peer-to-peer learning community to help grow your eye care business.